Hey Ricky, did you know that Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com stocks a massive inventory housed in two huge warehouses on either coast?
I did.
Did you know that they offer fast, reliable shipping no matter where you are in the US?
They're on it, dude.
Did you know that they have a huge selection of OEM and aftermarket parts and accessories?
Yep.
That they are a company made by riders for riders and are rider owned and operated?
Of course, dude. That's why I love them.
Did you know that they've been leading the industry with affordable pricing and accessible products since 1985?
Number one.
I didn't know that. Did you know that they are the go to source for all your power sports needs?
I did.
So, where should our listeners go for parts, apparel, and accessories?
Rocky Mountain ATV MC.
.com.
Get ready.
Said if you can't win, wreck someone who can. And
Exactly.
I knew I wasn't winning that.
Why do people not get out of the fast lane?
Every time I see that picture of you riding around with that big ass fro you're wearing, I still get pissed.
It was that night I said preparate, but I didn't say what I wasn't supposed to say, and that's A1.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk 447. I am Jeff Emig, and I am coming to you from my place in Corona, California. All good. Nothing to worry about. Ricky, of course, is coming to us from Tallahassee, Florida. Ricky Carmichael, how are you, buddy? How you holding up?
Good, man. You and I talk every day, but we're living in some crazy times, man. It's definitely been different from what I gather from the news, depending upon which news outlet you watch. Sounds like you guys are in lockdown mode, right?
Well, I think a lot of people are, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been getting out, going for runs and
Yeah.
and heading down to Balboa a little bit and, things like that. Feels like a lot of the certain areas are in full lockdown, like you're not even allowed to be out on the streets, right? So that is pretty crazy. Now, I haven't personally experienced that myself, but certainly those places like New York and whatnot and up in Washington seem to be pretty gnarly.
Yeah, there's no doubt, no doubt. So, I think it's opened the eyes to a lot of people, especially, I got kids and, now we're doing virtual learning, which has actually been a really cool experience. The positive side is them getting to learn different things, learning a different way. But their school has done a fantastic job with, throwing in some audibles and adjusting to the times that we're going through. It's nuts. There's still quite a few people on the roads. Definitely each day, I still ride my bicycle quite a bit and get out just in the open air, and it's definitely slowing down every single day, which is a good thing for the short term for sure. Try to stop this virus from spreading, but man. I mean, when we spent the week before leading up to Daytona, and then now, several weeks after Daytona, I would have never thought that week that this is where we would be
No,
today.
definitely not. I mean, it is, I'm all for everyone being safe and doing what the experts are advising everyone to do. But it's interesting because I'm kind of the opposite of the people that went on the big shopping sprees and bought, 2 years worth of toilet paper and things like that. Like that, I'm the opposite of that. I actually haven't bought any toilet paper so far, right? But I had to go to Target because I've kind of just been buying food as I go, and I mean, there's not anything left on the shelves anyway.
Really.
Oh, dude, in California, it's just like mental. But so at Target, they had these blue X's like taped on the floor, right? And the X's were certainly more than 6 feet apart. And there was a lady in front of me yesterday. So somebody was at the cashier, and there was like an X, like stand here, like at the, where you pay and everything. And then the next X back was like probably like where the little conveyor belt thing starts, right?
Yep.
And the lady she was like not even up to that point. Okay. And so it's like that was easily 8 feet, maybe even 10. I don't know. But so she was like, conscious of, or, going, wow, I don't want to get too close. So she wasn't even at the X. She was like another 50% further. And so I just roll up with my cart so that I'm on the proper X. But now I'm closer to her than what she was to the other person. And she kind of looks back and you kind of see her like uncomfortable about it. My point is, dude, if you're uncomfortable about any of that, you just shouldn't even be in Target. Like, you're in a closed building. I mean, it had to be 200 people in there, or maybe not 200, but quite a bit of people. I don't know. Some of the stuff, it's like when, if you're a full germaphobe, like, you're just not even, like, you won't even go outside. You won't go outside because who knows if the wind blows the wrong way. I don't know where you draw the line. Some of it seems to be a little bit overkill, but
I think everybody has different lines. Your line might be different than mine. Hey, I'm just trying to do the best that I can, limit the times that I have to go to the market. I try to keep my distance, for everyone's sake. But at the same time, I mean, some things you just have to do. And so I'm limiting everything, and man, just trying to do my part. But
hey, didn't you say that there some of the grocery stores down by you are?
I mean, people are trying to closing the grocery stores. Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. And what's happening is like different counties are, doing what they want to do. I feel like some aren't abiding by the governor's orders. So it's different. And I don't know exactly how all that stuff works. But it's definitely interesting. And the crazy thing is it's changing. I mean, not every day, every 30 minutes to an hour, you look at something on social media and like, well, this ban just started. And I know Tallahassee is locked down. They're on a curfew now from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m., which, to some compared to what you guys in California are, isn't that's nothing. That's not even a blip on the radar screen. However, so we have a curfew that was just implemented yesterday. But dude, I don't go out anyways, other than to get food and the things that I absolutely need. But on the flip side, it's been nice. I've got to spend some quality time with the kiddos and my girlfriend, and just trying to do my part. And at the same time, been doing a lot of thinking and how I can better myself and give these great fans in motocross and supercross some fun stuff. And that's why I'm talking to you.
Well, it's so unprecedented, right? I was talking to our buddy Jamie Dobb, who's over in England. There was something on the news over there, some videos and whatnot from Venice, Italy, right? Have you been to Venice?
Yeah.
So the water's just crappy, right? Like, there's all those gondolas and boats and stuff everywhere. And I guess the water has cleared up.
Yeah.
And for the first time in however long, decades, there are dolphins and stuff that are like swimming into Venice or something.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I didn't see the dolphins, but I didn't see that video clip, but I did see how clear it was. Yeah, somebody took a video, posted it on the YouTubes, and it was definitely clear. But enough talk about that, man. It's everybody. At the end of the day, you know what? I feel like we'll get through this. Probably not going to be quicker than what everyone was anticipating. However, the U.S. is very, very strong, and we're all going to come together, and everyone's going to do their part, and we will rise. You just got to be patient and everybody do their part. And months from now, hopefully we'll be saying, man, that was something else, but we're on the better end of it.
Yeah, no doubt. There it is, depending on what your political affiliations are, but you got to give it to Trump. He's a strong dude that's making some big decisions, and you got to, the government in general, like, can you imagine what they're having to do, trying to come together and figure out the stimulus package and all that? I mean,
yeah. Hey, it's
overwhelming.
I can tell you, I wouldn't want to be in that position. I mean, he's got some tough decisions to make, and whatever he does, whatever, like you're talking about, whatever side of the aisle you're on, you're either going to like his decision or you're going to hate it. And I can't stand the Monday morning quarterback stuff. It just drives me up the wall. I've gotten to where I'm not even reading Twitter and the news outlets for the most part. It's so negative. If this guy came out with a cure and he did everything right, someone is going to try to say, oh, he screwed it up or he did this, anyhow.
All right. Well,
let's talk about, let's talk about, I wanted to ask you a question.
Okay. I'm not sure. You don't think people tuned into this podcast to hear more about the coronavirus and learn about COVID-19?
No. So let's go into racing. We didn't get to download after Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think? What'd you think of Daytona? Go all the way back to Daytona.
Well, the listeners don't know, but like I thought that Roczen having that mistake with that lap and a half to go, I thought it was huge. And if we get another 6 months from now, and Supercross decides, hey, we're gonna have to call the season, and we're gonna this is it. We're just freezing the points. Then it'll be like that little slip up was a costly mistake. But I think that overall, I mean, there's no doubt about it that Eli Tomac, he's the strongest, fastest guy. And he has been for a number of years now. It's just, when does the big mistake come? And so far this year, he hasn't had any of those huge setbacks, and it's been really competitive. Ken can win from the front and only from the front. Tomac can win from wherever he starts.
Yeah.
And now that the herd is thinned a little bit, it's only going to make that easier. And as well as I do, you get deep in the championship and it becomes, if there's two riders going for the points, that's where it ends up being a 2-horse race. So,
yeah, I will say this break, for two people, I don't think it gives Eli Tomac or Ken Roczen an advantage or disadvantage. I think where this really what this break is really going to help is a guy like Cooper Webb. It's going to give him a chance to heal up first and foremost. If there's issues with the bike or whatever it might have been, why he got off to that slow start, it's going to help him. Now, he's going to have to go on a run. He is a long ways out, but everything, sorry, you're going to have to re-edit this, dude. It took a snapshot or something like that.
I did. We don't have to re-edit it. I was trying to go to full screen and instead I grabbed a screenshot of it.
Go back. I think guys like Cooper Webb, it helps. I mean, go to Justin Brayton. Dude got cleaned by someone on the last lap. Was it Freezy?
He got Freezy.
So he got clean. Now, I mean, only thing he's missing is the last lap of Daytona Supercross by the time we get back going and Supercross starts up. And I'm hopeful. I do think that Feld is going to get these last races in. There's just so much riding on the line. I think it's going to be a dance as to, what venues we can get in and when and how and what that looks like. I have no idea, but I'm hopeful that we'll get it in. And yeah, there's just so much riding on it. I can only assume that the factories are pushing for that. So whether it's during the outdoors, whether it's after the outdoors, who knows? But this championship, I have a good feeling is going to continue. So I don't think that it has a disadvantage or advantage for any of the top two guys. I think it does help Cooper Webb out. Now, if I'm KTM, I'm for sure bringing Uscan in to help those causes. It's an outside shot, but anything is possible. So that's my take on it. I think the biggest thing is, what does that balance look like, Jeff? So you're in championship mode. You're coming off a win. You're on the home stretch trying to lock this championship up. Both of these guys are. I mean, they are locked in. You know what that mentality is of thinking and championship mode physically. What do you need to do? Your weekly routine. You know where you're at with the bike at this part of the series, and you're really looking towards that home stretch. I'm wondering, how do these guys delegate their time? Whether, hey, am I racing outdoors first? Am I racing Supercross first? How much more Supercross do I need to ride versus outdoors do I need to ride? And, mentally, when they go back to the championship, Supercross championship, I think the struggle is, how do you just snap right back into where you were when you left Daytona and you're in full championship mode? And so I feel like that's going to be the hard thing for these guys is what I just explained, delegating their time. How much time do you put in for certain disciplines?
There's just so many unanswered questions. Like, you don't know. Do we know that the Motocross Championship is going to start when MX Sports, they're like, that's the schedule as of now. But with this pandemic, they can push it back. It was like, okay, a week or 2 weeks, and okay, it was to April 1st. Now it's April 15th, April 30th. Like, I think it really depends on where this thing goes. I mean, if I were the guys right now, I would be using this as a break.
Yeah. So and that's good
because especially with the sort of preliminary ideas that Feld has thrown out about the Supercross schedule, I would say, okay, I need to rest, because once we do come back to racing, you're gonna be racing every weekend for a while. Did you see the MXGP schedule?
Yeah, all the way through November.
Their tentative schedule, of course, it's tentative, right? Everything's pending right now. It's like you race every weekend, right? So if I was them, I would be, okay, I'm staying fit, I'm staying loose, I'm training, I'm maintaining, but I would be getting rest in, getting healed, all of that.
I think you're going to see effects from this even into next year, because I was just talking with DMXS, David Iser, and the boys before we got on for this, and I was saying how, now these guys, do you rest? How do you delegate your time to motocross, supercross? And if this thing goes in October, November, or September, October, exactly right, you're going to be racing. Well, then that puts you behind on your rest time. That puts you behind on 2021 testing. And then what if one of these OEMs come out with a whole new model, chassis, engine? I mean, it just, you're behind on a lot of things. But
everybody's in the same boat. It's the same for everyone.
Yeah.
Unless you're that team that has the new bike or something, like you said.
Yeah. So everybody's behind. And, you made a really good point. Everything is tentative. I mean, there could be news tomorrow that says the whole frickin' country's on lockdown through June.
Yeah.
Then what happens? Then we ain't going MX racing anytime soon. And then that just puts the squeeze on the Nationals and then the Supercross series. And
all three of the major championships, whether it's MXGP, Pro Motocross here in the U.S., and Monster Energy Supercross, are going to be affected by this. I mean, they're already being affected. So, I just feel like that if it was me, I'd say, okay, I need to take a little break. I need to take a little break and make sure that I'm, obviously healthy, but mentally healthy, like in the right place, where I feel like, okay, I want to go back to work. And I certainly wouldn't be out there hammering away to where that, whenever we do start racing, that, man, you get to the end of summer and you're so fatigued, and now Supercross Championship starts up starts
Well,
back up. Like,
I can tell you this, Jeff, and you know this as well, from testing in the off season before the weather really cools down for Supercross. When I was preparing for Moto X Games in 2007, my final year, I was riding Supercross, July, the beginning of August, some in June, and it was so hot. And I personally feel that riding Supercross in the summer and the hot months takes it out of you way more, obviously, than when you're riding it in the fall and the spring and the winter. But it's almost worse riding Supercross in the summer than it is outdoor in the summer. I don't know, because the speeds are a little bit slower, so the heat from the bike just rises up in the corners, the slow corners, and you can just feel, and you're just baking.
Do 450s emit more heat? Do four strokes in general emit more heat than what a two-stroke does?
Well, I personally think that they do, yes. And another thing is that these aluminum chassis, compared to the steel, I always felt like there was way more heat. I mean, you touch you touch an aluminum chassis, it's going to be hot, versus steel chassis isn't as hot to the touch, I don't feel. I could be wrong, but that's one thing that I noticed. Like,
you probably are. We'll get some people, some listeners.
Oh yeah, they'll chime in.
Yeah,
probably won't be positive, will it?
Nah, some engineers and stuff.
So I think that I think this is an element. You're exactly right. I agree with you. Now would be the time to rest, because once the ban, hopefully we get over this and everything levels out, the cases level out, and we start to see a decline in Rona. I think that you got to be, at that point, you got to be ready to go. So now I agree with you, would be the time to get your rest.
Well, it's, granted, neither one of us are going to race this summer, this fall, none of that. But I had to put myself in a place here. I've got that new project I'm working on, and always just slaving away with the work I do, with ODI and the grips and the products and everything, trying to like create. And it's like, man, I did those videos at ODI, I've been wanting to. So I've been wanting to do that literally for years. And I said, okay, so since the world is like on pause, what is something that I can do now that I was too busy to do before? So I said, okay, so we just, Brandon and I and Johnny, we knocked out a couple of videos. Apologize to the viewers for the audio quality being bad on those. But, so I would encourage our listeners and viewers to say, okay, if we're on lockdown, what can you do now that you didn't have time for before? Work out, do some more sit-ups each day, go for a walk, spend time with your kids, wash your dog, clean your garage, like things like that. I mean, and just kind of in this world of chaos, like just bring it down. I mean, I don't know if you can see my table back here. Just
got a collage going? You building a collage?
The jigsaw puzzle, dude. I got it for Jagger and Presley. I'm the only one that ends up working on it. Jagger's helped a little bit, but I got to spend some great time with my kids, and my daughter came over and spent 3 days. Jagger was with me for 5, and just going, okay, I'm just gonna shut it down for a bit. And there were a couple days we just kind of, hey, let's just kick it on the couch and watch TV. Now you don't want to do that the whole time, but I mean, I actually got to spend some real quality time with my kids in the last 5 days because I wasn't so busy.
Caden told me this the other day. It kind of melted my heart, gave me a soft spot. And he's like, what's really cool, Dad, is I get to spend more time with you since I don't have to go to school, and I can just hang out with you for the whole afternoon, all these afternoons. It's awesome. And
he can play that trumpet for you all afternoon, huh?
Dude, I kind of wanted to get on that thing, right?
Hey, Dad, I'm going to learn to play another instrument. Cool,
right?
Son. Guitar, like he says I'm sorry, no, not trumpet, trombone.
Yeah. Hey, one positive thing. Can you imagine once we get through all this and the numbers, decline and things have leveled off and some normalcy returns to our lives? we're going to have Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Series firing up. Then who knows if they're going to slide a Supercross in one of those. I think there's so much uncertainty. Anything is possible at this point. Then you're going to have the MXGPs and MotoGP, all forms of motorsports. Dude, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm actually looking forward to it. It's like, well, what racing action do we have today?
Hey, so for the project I'm doing with Fox Racing for the 74 show, the Fox 74 show, so we have 4 more trips to Europe that I was supposed to do this summer. Now the whole schedule is like back to back to back. So that's why I looked at like, okay, wait a second, when it's time to go, what's that going to look like? And now if there's not a weekend off, or maybe there's 3 of those in 4 or 5 weekends, maybe I'll just have to stay the whole time. But you know me, I love my airline miles, but yeah, it's going to be back to back to back. And so what's interesting is, when you look at this from the economy side, I don't know, I've been so interested in how this affects the economy, more so than what I ever have. Like, I think maybe that's where my main focus is, and I'll listen to Fox Business and, try to get, some straight talk on certain things.
Which is hard to do.
It's hard to do, but, there's always going to be like the cause and effect. And, the stuff that I've read from credible places that I feel like are credible is that, yeah, recession's coming, but yet I feel like that the world, or even especially the US, will just rebound from this. Like, and once we get rolling, it's going to be like everyone's all cooped up, locked up, cabin fever. And when the go ahead comes and people get back to work and industry and, everything gets going, people are going to be like, man, let's hit it. So
I tell you, I'm looking at the market right now. The market's having a good day.
Where are we at?
Let's see here. NASDAQ's at 7,600. Dow Jones is 22.1. I tried to get in a couple days ago, and I was hesitant because I thought there was going to be another pullback, and of course it's went up. So I'm like, oh man. So I feel like there's going to be another pullback, so I'm waiting.
One more pullback, and then
pullback, and then if it does, then I'm going just to have a little bit of fun with it. But yeah, it's going to be crazy, but a lot of fun stuff once we get back going. Switching gears though, dude, what about Tom Brady, man? I am a Tampa Bay Buccaneers guy now.
Oh, I stopped watching sports stuff altogether.
What?
Dude, I have tuned out everything. I don't even know. You tell me.
Oh, come on, dude.
Swear to God, I watched.
Don't know about Tom Brady.
I knew that he was considering the Buccaneers, but I literally shut off everything except watch a little bit of news, and that's it.
Oh, dude, he went to Tampa Bay. Something like 50 mil guaranteed for 2 years.
I was gonna say 40, but good. He should, because he sucked it up for a lot of years with New England so that they could fit in the cap, and has probably been underpaid for a long time. So,
for his credentials.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So where's that leave Winston? Is he gone?
I heard I heard that he was going to the Saints. I don't know about that. Then I heard he was going to San Diego. Well, not San Diego, but
LA Chargers, yeah.
Yeah, I'd heard that. So I don't know. You hear so many things.
I haven't heard anything. So
why'd you quit watching sports?
I don't know, because it was like it just wasn't relevant. It wasn't timely. Like, sports to me is very live, and even reruns of games and stuff like that. I was someplace. Oh yeah, I went to like the day before the lockdown started. I went to Wood Ranch, shocker, for Pulled Pork Monday, and I'm watching as a NCAA basketball, the Maui Invitational, And I'm going, wow, look at all the people in the stands. I'm like, I can't believe they let that. Or is there no lockdown in Hawaii? And the bartender Ryan's like, dude, that's already happened. I'm like, oh, so that's a rerun. And then after that, I was just, yeah, I'm over it.
So is Wood Ranch shut down?
You can still get takeout, yeah.
Takeout.
Dude,
That's how Florida is.
I don't know if any of our listeners and viewers have been to Wood Ranch. That's my place.
It's so good.
Dude, the other day, so I'm on my run and I'm going past Wood Ranch at about
Oh, dude, they had the smokers fired up.
25, 30 minutes. And it's just blowing across the street, right? Like smoke was in my face. It's the best.
This is like,
yeah.
I cycle by, when I'm on my way home from my cycles, I go by a couple restaurants. Sonny's Barbecue is one of them, and every time I can just smell it in the air. I'm like, oh, dude, that smells so good.
Mm-hmm.
And you're at the end of a ride. So I've been doing a lot of cycling. So there's this one climb, and I posted a pretty good time on it. And dude, I swear, Savachi must track me throughout the day. And he saw my ride and the time I posted, and I got a King of the Mountain. And dude, 2 hours later, he just goes and beats me by like 3 seconds. I was so pissed. I text him like, seriously, dude? I say, you couldn't just let me have it for a day?
Yeah, just let it be registered.
Yeah.
And he's injured too.
Yeah,
he's still whooped your ass.
Yeah, he's coming along. I think he's doing pretty good.
Hey, Strava's ruined a lot of friendships from what I hear.
Yeah, I don't.
So my
oh yeah, you already told this story. Tell it again now.
Did I tell it on here?
Yeah, they're not friends anymore. No,
yeah.
I don't think you did.
No, so my little sister Paige, her husband Brad Crane, so they're avid mountain bike, like cross country riders. Well, he's friends, and obviously we all grew up in the same area with Doug Stone, who's a former Supercross racer, right? Remember Doug and his brother race.
Yep.
And Doug's a pretty competitive guy, from what I understand, and so they all mountain bike to certain areas, certain route or whatever you guys do on Strava, and they got into a bit of a competition, and Brad went out and set like the best time, and Doug, I guess, I just get a email from Strava right now from my morning run. So yeah, they get into it about
listening to you.
Yeah, well, they get into it, and for whatever, from what I understand, it like fractured their relationship. Like they're not friends anymore. They don't ride together. They don't.
That sucks. It's not intended for that.
I don't think so. I started using Strava on my runs lately because I just started running again. So.
Did I motivate you when you were here for the camp?
Dude. No, my first run that I put on, like I ran a couple times. No, not at all. That was way too much. I hadn't ran forever because my left ankle's got a little issue, but now I've just been kind of getting through it. And Ricky and his son take me on a run. It was all I could do to like not just stop and say, F it, I'm done.
You did well, buddy. See, I was a good influence on you, man.
Dude, what'd we do? Was it at 8:48 or 9:48 miles? What were we doing?
No, we did 8:48s at one stage. Remember, because Caden, my son, was going with us, and he's adamant about going with Jeff and I. So I'm like, all right. So we take off, and dude, he's just hammering. I'm like, watch your pace, because I knew once we got to the turnaround point, he was going to blow. And I'm looking at my pace, and I know what he can run for a certain amount of distances, and he is for sure he's redlining. And you kept saying, you thought I was saying something different, but I was saying, watch your pace. And he's like, we call it half wheeling in cycling, when you just like ride like a half wheel ahead of a guy. Yeah. Well, he was probably 5 paces ahead of Jeff and I. And what were you saying? You thought I was saying let's race or something?
No.
Anyhow, so yeah, Caden took off, and like he's setting a tempo, and I'm looking down, and we're under 9-minute miles, which is pretty good for the route that we do. It's kind of hilly, and I kept telling him, and I could see Jeff. He was He was in the hurt locker because it's pretty much uphill for the first half mile when you leave my house.
Yeah.
And you remember you couldn't get your breathing in sync. And all
No,
that?
I had been traveling to Europe. I really hadn't done any cardio like forever. It's like, hey, I'm literally laying on the couch, like gonna make myself a vodka soda. Hey, let's run first. Oh, okay, why not? Hey, that sounds fun. Then I'm just. It's good for me though. It's good for me though.
Yeah.
I had to cut today short. My right shin was I don't know. I don't think it's like shin splints, but my ankle and shin, which is my good ankle, was giving me problems. So I cut
what?
it. Cut
I mean,
it,
what
shut
kind
it
of
down.
shoes are you using?
Vans, DCs.
I know you're tight, but go kick down on some good running
No,
shoes.
no, I got some good shoes. Yeah, no, I got some nice Pumas. So
Nice.
yeah, no. So my best is about like where I'm at right now is about 3 miles. I'm doing like just above 9 minutes, like a 9:19, 9:13.
That's good. Do you like your route?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's good. I when I raced, I ran in the trails. So where I lived through, let's say the mid 90s, I could always run trails. And so I could, like my thing, like with training, like I didn't do a lot of cycling at the time. So running was my thing. It's probably why my ankles hurt now. But so I'd go on my runs up into the trails. So middle of summer, running through the weeds and the trails and the rocks and all this, dude. So 105 degrees, you're uphill. All of a sudden, what do you come across in the middle of the trail?
Big old snake.
Rattlesnake. You talked about like spiking your heart rate. It's like being in the middle of a moto and like almost going over the bars and just spiking. Yeah. So I loved it. So, but now I'm just running around concrete areas. So whatever.
Nice. Well,
hey,
what up?
we're at 36 minutes already. Hey,
I think we're caught up on all of our giveaways. I saw some people giving us crap about Twitter on Twitter, but
no. I got one that we didn't get to.
Okay.
Let's see. So when we started the new Instagram account, Real Talk 447 Official, I asked some fans to tag 2 people and repost it, right? You remember that?
Yeah.
And then like comment and repost. And I ran across a really interesting one here that I thought, and they're the winner. I haven't messaged them yet, but so C Kenton 245, he tags a couple friends and says, "This is the podcast I tell you both about all the time. Love how on the podcast app, as soon as they go live with the show, I get a notification. I have never missed an episode. Check them out for the scoop on the previous and upcoming races. Otherwise, don't be my wife anymore." So he sends this to like his buddy and his wife. Han says, "Oh, this is the group that we are in our fantasy league, the one where your wife is smoking you." So this is his buddy. Dina, and when you say, "Tell me about it all the time," you mean 3 times daily. So he's constantly talking about the podcast. "So happy to have this duo on Insta," meaning us. I believe this is the wife. She says, "Why is Ricky Carmichael my fave? Like to look at him, always making me grin with a little giggle." And the guy says, "All right, send the group this way. Ricky has taken my woman. I'll make the trade." So
he won. That group won.
yeah. So C Kenton 245, I'm gonna send some Emig Pros your way. Nice little exchange.
Thanks for tuning in too. Everybody, make sure you comment on our page. All that. Hey, by the way, you never commented. Did you like my push-ups that Hart challenged me to?
Oh yeah, Yeah, I got off easy by just doing 10 regular ones, and then one.
Dude.
And my 10th one, I did a clap. I'm proud of you, though.
The next one was what? What are you shaking your head no about?
People are going to be so fit after this. Everyone's got time to exercise.
What's the coolest challenge you've seen?
Well, hold on. So I'll get to that in a second. So John Eric Burleson, right? John Eric, they did a push-up challenge. He says, "Oh, you need to do them like Navy SEALs." So they do a push-up, and then when you bring I don't know what it's called, but then you bring your right knee up to your elbow, push up, left knee up to your elbow. That's one. Push up, right knee elbow, push up, left knee elbow. That's two. So he did 10 of those, which is basically 20 yeah. So I'm like, everybody just keeps taking it to the next level. My favorite one is Big B with the Rosé Challenge.
Oh, dude, I was there. I witnessed that, and I couldn't tell if that was my video. I know Hart was videoing it too, but that was just the first one. He did 2 more after that, and I am going to tell you, the next morning for him, let's just say he didn't answer the bell.
Feed Big B.
Oh, dude, it was so much. He did it the year before. I really hope that we're able to get our ride to Sturgis in. You're supposed to come, by the way. Obviously, I know plans are going to be altered, so hopefully the Sturgis Rally is still happening. But we had a killer time last year, and it was, for a great cause. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, that bike is donated. So anyhow, hopefully we can still do that, and the Rosé Challenge is going to be on again, and you can watch Big B do it live. Dude, it blows my mind how he does that.
Yeah, well, check out, is it at Feed Big B on Instagram?
Yeah, Feed Big B. Yeah, it's good. The Rosé Challenge.
The fact that you can physically...
that's been your favorite one so far?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's been so many, and people are getting creative, and a community is coming together with like Skype and Zoom calls, and
my buddies called me the other day from we did a Skype group, like happy hour call. It was pretty fun. Some buddies that I went to high school with.
Well, we did that one with Ralph and Pete and everyone from the TV
Bondo's
crew.
Birthday.
Bondo's birthday call, yeah, and then we got interrupted.
Remember, JH didn't come in. Remember?
Nah.
He's busy doing something, cooking or doing laundry, whatever it might have been, right? Huh? Why are you so quiet?
He does cook a lot. JH cooks a lot.
Where does he find the time is what I would like to know.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
Might be why he doesn't call us back, huh?
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Well, hopefully we've got a guest plan for next week. Hopefully we're going to have a representative from Feld to bring us up to speed on what's going on with Supercross. Definitely talk to the people from MX Sports and MXGP to see if we can give you guys some information in the coming episodes. So sorry this show's been a couple days late this week. I was really wrapped up in the jigsaw puzzle and super busy, right? But spending time with the kids and, like I said, kind of unplugging. So thanks everybody for listening. Ricky, I appreciate your time. Do you have any final thought?
We're going to do it again. Everybody stay safe, and I would say the biggest thing with all the craziness happening, everybody just try to be kind and be positive and know that, we all want this to be over now. But that's not the world we live in. However, America's strong and we're going to prosper. And we'll get to the end of this, and whatever the economy is going to do, it's going to do. But we will rise again. And, it's a lot easier to stay positive than it is to be negative. And in the long run, it'll be better for everybody to be that way, in my opinion. So, try to make the best of it. Spend the much needed time at home with your children. Like Jeff, like you're doing, myself, enjoy those times, because once things get back to normal, we won't have those times. So stay positive and most important, stay upbeat and make the best of this time.
Well put, Ricky. Well put. All right. So we'd like to thank our listeners and viewers from all over the world. And, of course, our sponsors, Fox Racing, Rocky Mountain ATV, MC.com, Slick Products, which we really didn't talk a lot about right now. But if you are out riding in the desert and finding places to get on your dirt bikes, which I know a lot of people are,
Yes.
you need to clean up, make sure that you hit up Slick Products.
The pride that I take in my work is just, you're gonna get out of it what you put into it. As simple as to washing my motorcycle. Always wanted my bike to be clean, every nook and cranny to be spotless. Just, you know, you took pride in that. I mean, longevity it's really important. You know, you only want to put good gas in your bike, right? Well, the same needs to be for the cleaners too.
Also, the RC4 handlebar bin from ODI, and of course the Emig Pro and Emig grips from ODI. So if you get a chance and you're looking for products, give all of our sponsors a view, and I'm sure that they have something that you like.
Yep, absolutely. I've enjoyed it. We'll do it again. There'll be a lot to talk about next week, and hopefully our guest will be able to commit. And I think our viewers and listeners will really enjoy that. So everybody have a great weekend at home and stay safe.
Okay, if you like the show, you're watching it on YouTube, definitely make sure that you comment. You can reach us at Talk447 on Twitter, now at Real Talk 447 official on Instagram. Of course, Ricky on Instagram is at Ricky Carmichael. I am at Emig47. Feel free to comment and continue the conversation however you guys like. And always, as always, we got to turn to our buddy Andrew McKeague.
This old lie.
See you guys. Thanks for watching.